I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you guys for coming through, child. I don't have nothing, nothing ready. But if you can hear the sound of my voice, please let me know by putting your city, your state, your country, your island, your continent, wherever you are from, into the chat so that I can say hello to you like I am about to say hello to one of my members, Miss Baby Peaches. Thank you for coming through and supporting me. I appreciate you, girlfriend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is up, Miss Ty? Another one of my supporters. I appreciate you for coming through. What is up? What is up? Oh my goodness. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Happy Saturday. What's up? What's up? Nice to have you, Marie. Indianapolis is in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all for coming in. We are here to talk about Belle Collective Season 7, Episode 5. And it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. What is up, Estes Bonita, 812? Nice to have you. Cynthia from Philly. What's up, Philly? Nice to have you. Y'all, this was a interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Okay, so I got my notes. Y'all know this is a cookout, right? Let me get my cookout video up if I can even find it. Because it's getting much warmer out. And y'all know when it gets warm, we got to do the cookout. Hold on. Let me make sure I can get it. Oops. I got too much stuff that I'm operating back here. Hold on. I got it. I don't know which one it is. I'm a guess at it though. Let's try this one. Yes. Kung Fu Kenny is on the grill, baby. What's up? This is my sister. This is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy. Okay, come on in. What up, though? Nice to have you, Detroit. Miss Dana is in the house. Come on in. We got Liz here. You said you love the Campbell soup patch, baby. This is my new you know, I got a new pack of cards. Okay, this is my ace. What is up, Betty? Nice to have you. What's up, Gloria, my St. Louis sister? Nice to have you. Okay, y'all, grab yourself a plate. I don't know who got the potato salad, but when you come in, let me know what dish y'all got and go on ahead and put it on the table so that everybody can eat, okay? Y'all know how we do over here. This is officially the cookout over here. Oh, that is too cute. Okay, y'all, so listen. Y'all know everybody that does these reviews got different perspectives. This one is mine though, okay? I just want to point out how they might have jumped the shark just a little bit in this episode. Maybe they'll spin back around, I don't know. But if y'all remember in season 6, at the end of season 6, Latrice had a one-on-one at Carrie's house. They had just had that, I think she was like a minister / psychic, and Latrice was crying real bad because apparently her father's spirit came through to talk to her through the psychic, and she was telling her how proud the dad was saying, "I'm so proud of you," and all that stuff, right? So Latrice was like choked up, like tears coming down her face. She was like, "I didn't even go to that man's funeral because I didn't think that he loved me," right? And so the psychic is telling her all this stuff. So y'all remember she was real emotional. And she goes over to Tisha and said, "Can you and I talk away from the Bells so that we can square this away? Because I don't want to lose this friendship." And she tells her all this stuff. She apologizes to her. She said, "I know how your mind is thinking because I would have thought the same thing, but I didn't have anything to do with this. And I want you to know that even if you need to move slow with me, I would rather you move slow with me than to cut me off. That was the conversation. It was real grown woman, real grown woman. And when Tisha left, she said, I'm gonna think about it. But when she got on the reunion stage, she told Latrice to kiss her black. Okay, she said, I done thought about it, but every time these hoes come on the show, they come after me and they all friends of yours. So we're done. I don't want this friendship anymore. Latrice was crying then. And then the producer said she didn't, they basically came up and said Treese didn't have anything to do with the questions. The producers told on themselves, we made those questions. And she said, I don't give a damn. Letitia said, I don't give a damn. It is up and it is stuck. Okay. And I believe she said something like payback is a mother, or payback is a bit, right? She said something to that extent, like, it's on from this point forward. Go on ahead and just be prepared, because I'm gonna let your ass have it. Okay. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Lies More Lies is here. Yes, you remember that. Okay. So let's just start from there, because listen, like I said, everybody have their faves and they come from their perspectives. This is the one I'm coming from, because that's how I remember the shit. And the way Tisha's about to pull a Uno reverse on Latrice is hilarious. Okay. You said you still believe Latrice knows something. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I can only tell you what I heard. This is my perspective. That's where I'm coming from, but I understand not everybody's there. Okay. What's up, Erica? Nice to have you, sis. Girl, where's the potato salad? Who got it? Who got it? We don't have everything. What is up? Less of more. Nice to have you this Saturday. Take the poll at the top of the chat. We're trying to find out who wears the crown and who is the clown when it comes to Glen and First. Okay, First is the name of Tisha's manager. That was some crazy shit. I don't know whose side you're on, but take the poll. Whoever gets the most votes wears the crown, and whoever gets the least is going to wear the clown by default, just so y'all know. So whoever you want to wear the clown, or whoever you want to wear the crown, that means you're on their side. So take the poll at the top of the chat. Well, I'm happy that you're here, sis. I'm happy that you're here. Okay, so let's go. So we start off at Carrie's house, right? We're at Carrie's house. This is basically picking up exactly where it left off. Latrice and Tisha are both crying, snotting, the whole nine, right? And Tisha said that she genuinely feels betrayed by Latrice. She said, I love her, but I feel betrayed by this girl. There's something about her that I just don't trust. And Latrice ends up saying pretty much the same exact thing. She said, listen, I feel betrayed too, because everything I thought Letitia was is a lie. There's nothing about her that's honest to me anymore. So she's basically saying that she thinks that she's a liar. And the friendship coach, or whatever this lady's supposed to be, she tells both Tisha and Tree, she said, listen, you guys would not be crying as hard as you are if you still didn't have feelings for each other, if you still didn't want to salvage this. So she says, my advice to you is that you have a one-on-one meeting without the Bells. And that way, you guys can just talk about it. And maybe you won't be friends again, but if you decide to move forward in your friendship, then you need to bury all that old shit that y'all keep bringing up against each other. And that is what's keeping y'all stuck. So once you make that decision, bury everything else, okay? And they just listen to each other. They kind of nod their heads, but it's draining for everybody. You can tell. And the rest of the girls that are sitting there, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all grown as hell, and I did not come down here for this. I came to eat and drink and to be merry, right? But yeah, so that's how that little scene ends. But it was good advice. Stop holding on to the old stuff if that's not where you guys are anymore. Okay, moving forward. Now we are at Carrie's restaurant, and listen, Carrie and Matt are funny. You have to really, I think they have like funny personalities to me. But anyway, Matt, the husband, he comes there to meet up with his wife. He drives all the way to Mobile, child, because y'all know they live on the coast. But he drives all the way to Mobile to meet his wife at this new restaurant. And they are the only two in the restaurant. The restaurant is empty, okay? She has a full staff. She has a full staff, but nobody's in it. And Matt starts, making jokes. He's saying something in Spanish, and he's like, can I get a drink? Por favor, and all that stuff. Carrie says that she has a half a degree in Spanish, but she cannot speak a whole. She can't speak a whole sentence. Okay. Matt tells her to please stop. He said, don't stop telling people that you speak Spanish when you don't know words. You don't know what the cousin is versus the sister or the brother. So they end up, it was just a funny moment. I like them as a couple. I like them as a couple on the show. Anyway, Carrie ends up mentioning that she is struggling. I am struggling with the possibility that I might have to close this business, right? And, Matt is trying to be empathetic, but at the same time, he wants her to just stop the bleeding. So he's like, you might have to do it. It's a part of business. You got to wrap your mind around the fact that you're going to have some wins and you're going to have some falls, right? Once you figure that part out, you'll keep pushing because that's the type of shit that'll stop you from jumping into your next venture. So he's giving good advice. And then after she's sitting there, trying to cry in her soup, he tells her, she catches him up on the girls' get together. And she said that the shit was full of drama and that they may never get right. So she does tell him that. Anyway, after that, Matt drops on Carrie that he is about to quit his good job in the city. Okay. He knows that this woman has all kinds of concerns about the hundreds of thousands they dropped into that business, because those bank loans and stuff, just because you close it doesn't mean you don't have to pay it back. You still got to pay that shit back. So right now she's trying to figure out, well, can I sell it? Am I going to be able to get the money, recoup the money? If not, how much am I going to owe the bank? So he's sitting here listening to her tell him this. And he says to her, I've thought about it. I might have to quit that good job in the city, the one that's bringing that stable ass paycheck home, because of whatever reason. It sounds like he might have an issue with his partner. Something's going on where he doesn't feel valued there, and he wants to break out on his own and just start his own business. So he's going to be competing with the other partner if he does that. But he says that. He said, it's about time. I done thought about it. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I'm going to. I've sat here long enough. I'm not happy. Okay, so he tells her he's not happy. And Carrie said, is it a good time for you to do this shit? Because for Pete's sake, okay? Let me see what y'all talking about. She said, for Pete's sake, you know what I got going on. This might not be the best time. And then he gives her some sort of baseball metaphor. He said, listen, there's 9 innings in a baseball game. Some you're going to be up, some you're going to be down, but you got to keep playing the game until you win. That's how it works. And I'm telling you right now, I can't take it there. So even though I haven't had the conversation yet, just know I'm having it with you. I'm having it with you, and I'm going to do my own thing. That's where he is, okay? All right, the baked beans is in the house, baby. I love me some baked beans and the best potato salad. Love it. Come on in, y'all. Thank you, girl. Put it over there on the barbecue over there on the picnic table, that we can get everybody fed up in this mofo, okay? Who's on the bar? Let me know that. I need a mojito. Okay. So anyway, after all of that, that's where Carrie is. And she said, even though she is scared as shit, even though she does believe in her husband, she does not feel that this is the right time for him to try to go off on his own and do his own thing when she has a failing business. We know that this business is failing. Why try to start something new? Which is an absolute, I get the worry. I totally understand it. And I feel like he might be a little bit selfish. That's where I'm coming from. I think Matt might be a little bit selfish to try to start a business at the same time he knows that his wife's business is failing. I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion. Come on in. Thank you, babe. I will have a blackberry mojito with mezcal. That's smoky. Is it like a tequila? I'll have that, baby. Okay, come on in, you guys. Hit the like button, share the video, please and thank you. Okay, let's move forward. Now we are at Latrice and her doctor's office, okay? Woodstock accompanies her on this doctor visit. That's her husband, Cliff. And the doctor is letting Latrice know that she needs to have another fibroid surgery because apparently the blood clots they think might correlate with, or excuse me, yeah, with the fibroids, or they think the fibroids might correlate with the blood clots. That might be not a confirmed reason, but might be the reason she had blood clots. And so they're like, let's get these fibroids removed and see if we can get you better, right? So Latrice is like, I don't want to, but I absolutely want to get better. So let's do it. Let's get it on the books. And then after that, Latrice and Woodstock end up, catching up, having a little one-on-one about what happened at the girls' get-together. Come on in, y'all, about the girls' get-together. So after that, Woodstock says, listen, I'm going to encourage you to go on ahead and meet up with Tisha. You Belle's got to do something, okay? Y'all got to do something to stop all this bullshit and fighting. And Tree says, listen, even if we do meet up, it's not a guarantee that we're going to solve anything because at this point in time, I don't fuck with Tisha, okay? I don't trust her. I don't like her. I don't see any resolve happening, even if I do meet up with her. And then Cliff tells Trees, why don't you just be the better person? And that did not slip past her either. She looked at him, she was like, I'm always the better person, always. And Cliff said, oh, okay. He said, oh, okay. The way he literally slapped her down, that shit was funny. I'm going to tell y'all something. Woodstock is hilarious to me. He is funny. But he cut her off and she made a face like, why are you doing this? Y'all know when you be having these little scenes where you want your husband to be on your side, he definitely gives me like a light-skinned Marceau. He gives me light-skinned Marceau in these scenes. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on, child. After he says that, we're going to move on to Tisha and Glenn and these crazy folks over there at that photo shoot. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm a little bit silly. I might be a little bit tipsy already. That mojito got me already hype. Okay. You said Cliff is good this season. He is. He's funny, and he's a subtle funny. You know what I'm saying? He has a real good humor. Anyway, let's get to this photo shoot, okay? Make sure you take the poll. Take the poll. Who's the clown? Who's the crown? Okay? So listen, they're at the photo shoot for the talk show. Y'all know Tisha has this talk show coming out, and she's letting everybody know she has an investor, okay? This isn't shit that's coming out of my bank account. This is coming out of someone's account that believes in me. Where she found this investor, I'm not sure, but his name is Don, okay? His name is Don. For whatever reason, he has an interest in Tisha, and Tisha had that fight with her husband last episode where the husband said, Glenn said, listen, that man ain't looking for no money investment. He's not looking for dinero. He's looking for ass, okay? This is his feelings on it, right? So this is just to catch y'all up, right? So Tisha is in here getting her makeup done, getting her hair makeup done, and the investor, Don, walks into her room, and Tisha actually says to her investor, my husband don't think that all you want to do is invest in me. He said that you want more than money. from me that you want ass. Is that true? That's what Tisha says to this man. That's the wrong move. I would think that she would have handled that a little better. But he goes, "Oh wow." He said, "Oh wow. Uh no." And really what he wanted to probably say is, "No. Why would you say that to me?" But then he ends up saying to Tisha, "Well, maybe he's a little insecure." And he walks out the room. All I said was, yes, he's insecure for sure. But I was sitting there thinking, Tisha, I don't know if that's something you would say to someone who's investing in you, because now he has a reason to pull out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to give him a reason to pull out saying that your husband doesn't agree with this, because I'm not putting a bunch of money into some shit that I know your husband is going to tear down later, Tisha. But she tells him that just out loud. I was like, Tisha, you got to learn how to be a little more colorful, baby. You got to learn how to not say things so like that. Glen and Tisha put on for TV. That's possible. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Let me also say hello to my other moderator, Mr. Kevin. How you doing, sir? Okay, so after she says that, Tisha and Shantae end up talking, okay? Tisha's still getting her makeup on and stuff, but her and Shantae starts talking, and Tisha's telling her that maybe she should have this one-on-one with Latrice, and Shantae fixes her mouth to say that it could be a benefit because some people, referring to Latrice, needs an audience. Some people needs an audience. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a one-on-one, you can take that audience factor out and she'll just be her real self and she won't have to give you all that, right? So she's talking all this bullshit, basically gassing up Letitia. And the reason why I say that is because, Shantae, wasn't it you who needed an audience at Carrie's birthday party when you confronted a person you did not know? That girl was a complete and total stranger to you, and you were like, let me ask you a question. That was you. So maybe you're, projecting a little bit, but if Tisha was your real friend, she would have told you that Latrice already had a one-on-one with her. And the real conversation you should have had with her was, well, when she had that first one-on-one, you weren't prepared to hear it. So I'm glad you're prepared to hear it now, friend. You could have said that. I just want Shantae to know that I saw that. I saw that. You were wrong for that, Shantae, basically boasting about what Latrice did. Well, that's what you did. Latrice actually pulled that girl outside to talk to her. Anyway, let's go on. Now Letitia is fully involved in the shoot, right? She got on this like a turquoise greenish colored suit and her hair is done. She looks super cute. She got her heels on and stuff. And she goes, let me turn my phone off. And she goes on to do the photo shoot. And they got a team of about 11, maybe 15 people watching her pose and all this stuff and cheer her on, right? Her friends are saying, girl, this is your TV show. Act like this is your show. Act like this is your show, okay? Let me put my other screen up. They're telling her to, trying to hype her up, right? While all this is going on, y'all, Glen comes walking his ass into the photo shoot with a pair of mirrored aviator glasses, a pair of jeans that's all torn up and got bleach on it. It's supposed to be the style, but you can see he dressed himself up, right? And he has this big ass Flavor Flav medallion ass chain around his neck. So he's coming here to show these nignogs that he means business. And this is how he dresses to come onto set a photo shoot with his wife, right? Uninvited by the damn way. Okay. Glen looked a mess. When he come walking into that hallway, I was like, Glen, at the very minimum, you didn't have to look like you was a B-boy or some shit. I don't know how old Glen is. I'm thinking he's in his upper 30s, but yeah, it was too much. It was too much. Anyway, he looked ridiculous. Tisha's over there posing, and when she turns and sees Glen, she stumbles like, oh, Oh shit. Oh shit is what she says, right? So after she says that, everybody gets nervous because I'm sure since Letitia told Don a little earlier that her husband believes that he's only in it for ass and nothing else, I'm sure he went outside and said, you know what I'm saying? He'd have told it to somebody else or that makeup artist that was sitting there with his with his eyeballs like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? The makeup artist, somebody went back and told everybody on set because the second Glenn walks in, everybody's energy changes. I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why is everybody, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? But anyway, Don, the manager, or excuse me, Don, the investor sees Glenn, turns around, shakes his hand. What's up, man? How you doing? He didn't have no problem with him, right? He's cool. Glenn's still standing there, everybody else, right? But there's a dude by the name of First, and y'all see him right there with the bucket hat on in this photo. First actually steps to Glenn and says to him, this is his first words, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Not, hi, how are you? My name is First. I'm the manager. He says, what are you doing here? And Glenn looked around. He said, I'm here to support, right? I'm here to support. Don't question me, okay? And so First walks off. He lets him have it. But after that, they wrap up the first part of the photo shoot. You can tell that Tisha's supposed to have some hair changes, some clothing changes, whatever that is. So they wrap up the first half of the set. And First, the manager tells the team, take Tisha to the back, get her in the dressing room, get her new set of clothes, get her mind right, and make sure she's comfortable. This is what First tells the group. Okay, we still at work. I don't give a if this fucker here. I don't care if he here. We still working. Time is money. Let's get her back so we can get the rest of the shoot off. That's what he says because he feels this is my job. I'm here on a Saturday and this fucker ain't interfering with it. Okay. But Glenn starts walking to Tisha. He said, ho, wait a minute. So then First makes a smirk like, I knew you was here to start shit. And he said, cool, let's give him some privacy. And he walks off. Now everybody clears the room and it's just Tisha and Glenn in this little huddle. That's when Glenn says to Tisha, is this why I wasn't invited? But let me say this. They're kind of talking like through their teeth. Is this why I wasn't invited? Okay. I know y'all probably can't hear me if I do that, but they're talking through their teeth and Tisha's in there swaying like this. She was like, what? Glenn, don't do this. Don't do this. Okay. I'm just trying to, and he's sitting here talking back and forth, right? Tisha tells Glenn, cut it out. Don't do this here. Okay, this is my fucking job. And Glenn tells her, I'm just trying to find out, is he helping you pose? Why do your investor need to be here? And Tisha said, do you need me? You need that man to reassure you that he's not trying to fuck on me? What is going on? Do you need that from him? Glenn said, I don't need shit. I don't need him to reassure me of anything. I'm asking you why is he here? Okay. Now, again, everybody standing to the side like this, because I don't give a shit if you said clear the room. I'm going to be like, baby, what? I'm listening to every word that's going on. And that's exactly what they were doing. Everybody stood in a huddle like, this is the best thing to happen to me all day. Anyway, Don, the investor, walks over because he hears his name and he's a man and this is his shit. I put money into this, so I'm not going to let you mess this up. So he walks over and he said, is everything okay? What's up? He wasn't even confrontational like that, though. I'm doing that, but he was very much trying to keep everything real even. Is everything okay? You got any questions for me, man? What's up, right? Glenn says, I just want to make sure that this is strictly business, okay? And if it is, then I should be in the business, okay? I want to be CC'd on all emails, all business meetings. Anything you have going on with my wife should be ran through me. Glen is a mess. He's a mess. Anyway, in confessional, Glen says, if Tisha has a problem later, I'm going to be the one she comes to get everything fixed. Okay. So I might as well be a part of this bullshit from the beginning. I'm a man and I control my household. Period. Period. That's what Glen says. Now, while Glen, Don, and Tisha are in a huddle, first is standing to the side with the blicky. Okay, let's just talk about it. That man will act like he doubles as a bodyguard somewhere, and he really is a manager. I actually looked his shit up. He works for Drew Sidora. He manages a couple of projects with her. He's in Atlanta all the time with a lot of the RHOA girls. I looked this man's up. His resume is serious. He's not little beans and potatoes. I thought maybe, oh, and let me also point out that he's also wearing a medallion, a Flavor Flav medallion as well. Y'all can see it there in the picture. But he's a real manager. So he's not small time, you know what I'm saying, potatoes or nothing. If he's managing his wife, he knows that, right? I'm telling y'all, he had the blicky on him, okay? I promise you. Anyway, first overhears, the conversation that Glen is having with Don, saying, from this point forward, I'm on every thing. Don't talk to her unless you're talking to me. So really, he's basically saying, I'm the manager now. Glen has taken over the management role here. And that's when First walks over. And First says, pardon me, what's going on? Because you're not going to be CC'd on shit. So at this point, First believes that Glen is trying to overstep. That was the impression. You're overstepping. Not only are you overstepping, but this is my friend, okay? Don is my friend. So if I have to, knock a hole in that ass, I will, basically. And I'm not even taking up for Tisha. I'm taking up for Don. I'm taking up for my friend. I don't like how you talking to him. This is a real man in the industry. This is real business. Okay, that's what he's giving. Anyway, Glen looks at him and said, you're the manager, right? You're the manager, right? Go manage some shit, right? And First actually steps up closer to Glen, like, I beg your pardon? And that's when Glen took his entire hand. He had it right by First's nose. He said, go sit your bitch ass down, like that. I mean, he damn near booped that man's nose. He was seconds from touching it. First said, okay, bitch, that's cool. That's cool. They start walking out. Now, after this, one of Tisha's team members pulls Tisha aside and she starts screaming at Glen. Glen, are you paying attention to this? Do you see her face? Hold on. Do you see her face? Let me show y'all her face if I can. Hold on, damn it. Hold on. Tisha started making this face like this one right here. She started fanning her eyeballs, child. This is where she's fanning her eyeballs, like she's trying not to cry. Hold on. This was so funny to me. But when she made this face right here, where she was pouting, I said, Tisha almost won. Tisha almost won the scene snatcher. I put scene snatcher here, but she's not the scene snatcher. I'm going to tell y'all who it is later. But when she made that face, when her friend said, do you not see that you are hurting her? And Tisha went, I said, bitch, y'all cut this out. Cut it out right now. That was so funny. I cried. Yes, girl. I howled too. I said, she better stop it. Okay. I know Tisha has been taking acting lessons on the side. That's all I'm going to say. Tisha has been taking acting lessons on the side, okay? Anyway, I think it's Shantae, maybe somebody else, because they're all standing around now like, what is going on? And somebody says, we got to remember we're in somebody else's establishment. Let's move this shit outside, right? So they say, let's move it outside. Facts. Everybody in this chat is dying, and you deserve to die because that shit was funny. Anyway, let me hold on. After she says all that, Shantae reminds everybody that they're in somebody else's establishment. Glen is still popping off, though. Glen is still popping off. Hold on, child. Now, I'm going to tell y'all the true scene snatcher. The true scene snatcher for me was this motherfucker right here, Glen. When Tisha put her hand over Glen's lips and Glen let her hand stay there, he grabbed her hand like this and then took it down, and then she put it over his mouth again. I said, baby, both of y'all are acting to me, both of y'all, because nobody, I don't even remember if somebody's mad, if a man is mad in particular, you ain't putting your hand over that mouth without him picking your whole entire ass up and throwing you someplace, because you're not going to embarrass him when he needs to be in full ready. You know what I'm saying? Glen, the fact that Glen let her put her hand over his mouth when he was in the middle of a battle, I said, you done stole the scene, boo, because nobody's buying that. First off, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You wouldn't have been able to do that. I've been younger, you know what I'm saying? And I've had I tried my hand at some bullshit like that. You would get picked up and you've been tossed someplace else. Don't put your hands on me no more. You see what I'm trying to do? And then your ass would get cussed out later on, okay? Facts. Nobody's doing this. Anyway, I'm going to say that Glen and her, I'm going to give all three of them the scene snatcher. Y'all did snatch this scene because y'all played it off. Y'all faked it. Okay. Anyway, I howled at the entire thing. Let's get back to it though. Okay, so now they remind everybody that they're in someone else's establishment. Get your ass outside. We do not want to be tearing these people's stuff up. And they go outside, okay? Once they're outside, Glen, Tisha, and her investor, Dawn, are standing on the sidewalk near the door. And they seem cool enough. They don't seem like they got a problem going on. You know what I'm saying? They seem cool enough. But first is taunting Glen, okay? He's out there making little faces and comments and shit. And Glen said, take a picture and take it with you. What the fuck you staring at? You don't think I'm gonna pop that ass? So Glen is saying shit like that. First is in the parking lot and he says, oh, okay, sexual chocolate. This think he's sexual chocolate. He's saying all types of stuff like that. And that's when Glen said, okay. Glen straight screams back, I will beat the brakes off your ass. If you keep it up with me, I will beat the brakes off of your ass, right? First said, you ain't never had a real ninja. You ain't never had a real ninja stand up to you, boy. Okay? When he says that, Glen runs up off of that sidewalk, charges that man. When I tell y'all he never moved, first stood there laughing, like giggling, laughing. That's when I said he got a blicky on him. He has something on him because that man didn't flinch. He didn't move. He didn't bob back. He stood there like, motherfucker, I wish you would. Okay, I know the laws over here and I will take it out. I promise you. Tisha, all the women tried to run after Glen. I think it might have been Shantae. Glen, no, they're all grabbing him. Finally, one of the producers or someone on set grabbed Glen, bear hugs him from the back. You know what I'm saying? Rocking him and shit. Glen said, I will fuck your ass up. And then you hear another producer tell First, go home, get in your car. And that's the only reason First walks off. But the entire time he's laughing. He did not I'm telling you, that man didn't give a shit. Okay. He made Glenn look like a whole clown. I'm saying, what did you say? You said you screamed at sexual chocolate. Yes, baby. It was a mess. It was a mess. You can tell who came to play and who did not. Okay. Y'all should have let first in on the joke. Y'all didn't let him in on it. Y'all didn't let him in on it. You needed to. Anyway, y'all know I did a little digging. And I ended up finding this picture right here. First and Letitia. And look at Tisha's dress. She got a little cut right here on the side, showing a little flesh. They was hugging and things. This was at Tisha's Friendsgiving party. So if anybody is trying to push up on anybody, it would be First. Even though First said, we're just friends. We're just friends. I did find this picture, baby. And the way Tisha is smiling, I've never seen her look so beautiful. She's glowing. She's glowing. Okay. So yes. I see you, Tisha. I see you. Anyway, just so y'all know, come on in. Welcome. Nice to have y'all. Hit the like button, share the video. I appreciate y'all. Okay. I appreciate y'all for coming to the cookout. But yeah, just so y'all know, after all of that, he moves on. He goes on to his car. He had a book bag on him that probably has some stuff in it. You said she is glowing. Make no mistake. And this is a video. I snapped this picture. She was glowing the entire video. And they were hugged up just like that. Now, I ain't saying she's doing anything. I'm just saying she's glowing. She's glowing. Take from that what you will. Okay? Anyway, Tisha ends up getting into her car, and she said that today is the last time that her husband or her team gets to ruin her brand. That's it. We didn't get any conversation from the investor, because I would have loved to hear his thoughts on what went down. Perhaps he was so damn mad that he said, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to be on camera saying anything. But I would have loved to hear what that investor thought, because that's some bullshit, right? Your husband coming up there doing some mess. You said you wonder if she was trying to make Glenn jealous. If so, it's justified. This was the Friendsgiving event. So he was a part of that episode. I didn't pay attention to it until I started looking for who this guy was. And I was like, oh, that's Friendsgiving. She's there. And they did a whole scene hugged up just like that. He has his arm around her waist. Her breast is leaning against his breast. And yeah, she was smiling. So I don't know. Anyway, y'all took the poll, so let me put it up, okay? Let's talk about it. Hold on. Okay. Let me make the screen big. All right. I asked y'all who wore the crown and who wore the clown. Basically, what you do in this scene is whoever gets the most votes is considered the crown winner, and the clown, whoever gets the least amount of votes is the clown by default. And you guys are saying that First wears the crown because Glenn shouldn't have had his ass there in the first place. And Glenn wears the clown by default, regardless if First jumped into married people's business. First actually jumped into his own business, because what Glenn was doing, in my opinion, what Glenn was doing was he was saying, I'm the manager. He was shifting the management piece into his hands. And what First said was, not on my watch. I get a check to be here, bitch, not you. You go. Okay, you're messing things up here. Not to mention, I saw her whole entire energy change when we were taking those photos, and this is not what we want. We need her to be in her right mind. Okay, so First wears the crown according to y'all. Me too. and Glenn wears the clown. Sorry, Glenn. Maybe you'll be up next week. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. Okay, cool. Y'all can't hear me. All right, let's get to the next scene, which is Marie and Selena. Everything goes by pretty fast now. Marie is at her 9th office. She's opening another one of those. I think it's some sort of rehab clinic. It's going to serve about 22 people. This is her 9th one in the community, which is absolutely amazing. Go ahead, Marie, with your bad self. That was so impressive to me. And she's doing the build out. She's letting people, or she's, letting, who did I say? Did I say Marie? Hopefully I said Marie and not Selena. Marie is letting everybody know that when she first started this business, she was just hoping to help one person. And now she has 9 clinics. And that is just super impressive, super impressive. Anyway, Selena comes to visit and she does a walkthrough of everything. They catch up on the girls' party at Carrie's house, and both of them agree that Carrie had way too much dip on her chip. They said, we do not understand why Carrie needs to involve herself in everybody's conflict. Perhaps she should just go sit the hell down somewhere and let these people figure it out for themselves. Even though they were a little nicer than that you can just kind of sense that they don't really like Carrie being in everybody's business, okay? Anyway, Marie asks Selena if Mike still has his own place. Like, how are y'all doing this? I know you're getting married in April and everything, but does that man still have his own house? And is he going to be living with you, or how y'all going to work it, right? So she's getting a little nosy. And Selena says, well, what he's supposed to do is rent his place. And he even wants to rent my place so that the two of them can get a place together. And Marie said, make sure he does, because if he holds on to that motherfucker for too long, okay, he might pull a Cedric, because I let Cedric have his old place and he had all kinds of women, and allegedly, according to some people in the chat, men. I don't know, but people said that Cedric likes to, give it out both ways, and he had all kinds of people over there. Okay, so she said, listen, take it from me. Make sure that shit go up for sale, or that another person's living in there sooner rather than later. Because if you have one fight and that man gets to go back to his old place, you might be donezo. That marriage might be over with. Okay, so she says that to them. And anyway, Selena says that she's not going to let Marie's bitter ass rain on her parade. Okay, she said, I don't have those problems. Those were your problems, but not mine. I ain't got shit to worry about when it comes to Mike. Okay, so I'm going to let you get that off your chest, so for your own healing, but not for mine. This marriage is still going forward. I love me some Mike. Mike loves me. No worries over here. Okay, that was hilarious too. All right. Anyway, let's move on to Selena. Now, Selena is at her place and she makes jewelry. I guess that's her business. I don't know what she does. It maybe it's online or something like that. Maybe it was online or something like that. That Tiny Tim nightgown. Okay, that was hilarious, child. They gave him a whole candle. He had a whole candle for light and everything. But anyway, she's making her jewelry, and her good friend, hold on, y'all. Her good friend, Latrice, stops by for a little chit chat, a little girls talk. Anyway, Latrice ends up catching Selena up on the possibility of meeting Tisha for a meeting. Okay. She said, I know this is, the Bells are spent with this bullshit. I'm spent with it. But even Cliff, even my husband, is encouraging me to talk to Tisha. So maybe I will. Okay. And Selena says, if Cliff is encouraging it, then you definitely should do what your husband tell you to do. Okay. Let's get this shit over with. Right. Then Selena says, I'm tired of all this depressing bullshit. Let's talk about Tambra. How is she doing? Because y'all remember, Tambra ends up leaving the scene and getting taken off by producers because her father had a stroke, or at least they thought he had a stroke. And Latrice ends up sharing that Tambra has been in the hospital all day and night, and that even though her father is showing improvement, they're not so sure that he had a stroke. They don't know what it was, which is wild. But she said she's by his bedside, she's not eating, and she's really not taking care of her own health at this point. Selena says she wants for Tambra to do better at taking care of herself so that she can be around for her daughter and for her father. Everybody needs her, right? But Selena also shares her experience with having a stroke. Selena has had some hard times, baby. But she said, I had a stroke and that shit ain't nothing to play with. Okay. I didn't know if I was going to walk again, talk again. She was basically a prisoner in her own mind. Sure, her body would not operate or do anything that it used to do. And she said she was laying out and just trying to figure shit out. And she said if it wasn't for her daughters, her children, basically saying to her every day, get up, let's do this. We're exercising. We're doing our ABCs. We're going to figure this shit out until you get your speech back, until you get your movement back. She said, if it wasn't for them, I could still be out of it. I didn't even know if I would live to see my granddaughters, my grandchildren being born, right? You said Selena needs to stay away from the stress. Now it got me thinking, is this the show for her? I mean, she doesn't let anybody stress her out. I don't think so anyway. Out of everybody, Selena seems to be the most even keeled. So sometimes when people know they can't go there, they're just very, very even. And she is. So she's sitting there making her jewelry and she explains that to her. Latrice asked her, how long were you down? Like before you started walking and talking again? She said for a good little minute. Shit, I don't even know how long. And she said she still actually suffers from the stroke. She said, sometimes I stumble over words. I can't get my speech out properly. All of that is a result from the stroke. So she's telling her that, Tambra's dad has a long road to recovery, but Tambra got to get herself together. And then Latrice goes into confessional and she said, there's just too much going on. Me with my blood clots, I got to have surgery, Tambra and her dad, and then listening to Selena talk about what happened to her and her health. I don't want to live every day in this turmoil that I have going on with Letitia. So she says for her, she's going to go to this meeting and maybe they might find some resolve because right now she's looking at it as life is short. So that's where they go from there. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for coming in. Hit the like button, share the video, please, and thank you. And grab yourself something, okay? Y'all are at the cookout. Okay, now we are back at Carrie's business. She is back in Mobile, Alabama with her business partner. And she asked her partner, just, give me the skinny. What can we do? And the business partner said, we can't keep this shit open. Bottom line, the only way this can stay open is if we put a manager here that can forego a salary until this place starts making money. And we don't know if that's going to be a year from now, 6 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we don't have no business. And we've done everything to promote this business. We've been on the news. You're doing what you're doing over there on your social media promotion. All the staff has joined in and really tried to make this their own. And we can't get any traffic. We can't get anything that's going to sustain this place. So we need to cut our losses and perhaps start looking for someone who can either buy it from us or the possibility that we just close it and we're going to owe that bank loan. But first thing is to sell it so that we can get some of that bank loan, if not all of it, paid off, right? And Carrie starts boo-hooing. I mean, oh my God. Oh, it just hurts my feelings because so many people wanted us to win. And she's doing all that shit. And while she's doing that, the manager rolls her eyes. She's like, bitch, I told you not to do this. You can tell that she was like, I don't care if you cry, Carrie, you cannot keep the business open. You gotta get rid of it. It is what it is. So Carrie ends up saying, y'all know her name is Carrie Paul. She's ended up saying in her confessional, she said, I have been robbing Peter to pay Paul, and my ass is Peter and Paul at this point. She said, I've been taking the money that I make as an influencer to pour back into this business. And right now, neither one of us have it to give. We got to, make sure that we have money for ourselves, money for our own lives. And Carrie, you got a husband that's about to quit his business. So, I mean, I'm sure he has some savings or something. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Deborah from Oceanside, California. You guys are the sweetest. I really do appreciate y'all. I swear. But yes, so she says all of that. And basically, it's how the scene ends. Now we know that they are seriously pushing forward. The business is closing, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I am actually happy. I will say this. I'm not happy that her business is closing, but I do like that she was willing to show part of this journey on television. So we saw it open. We know she's a restaurateur. We're watching it close. Restaurants are some of the most volatile businesses you could ever invest in or be a part of. You have no idea what's going to swing the market, right? The economy, when the economy shifts, when people are doing good, they go out to eat. When people are doing horribly, they cook at home, and that affects your business. And you can have the best business in the world. You can have the best food in the world. So right now, I'm happy that she was willing to show that side of her business, because I'm sure it's tough to tell people that you failed. It's just a hard thing to do. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the last scene. This is the meetup between Tisha and Latrice. Okay, so Tisha's already at the restaurant that her and Latrice had agreed to meet at, and she's sitting there with a cup of something, child, maybe water, I don't know, but she's sitting there waiting for Latrice so that she can give her a nasty stare down when Latrice walks in. Y'all know when Latrice comes into any place, she always makes an entrance, right? She always looks like she's dressed like a supermodel, child, whatever it is. She got this black and white dress on. She got this leather jacket that's thrown over her shoulders, and she is coming to play. That's what I'm going to say. She walks in, she sees Tisha sitting there staring her down, and y'all know Latrice has a facial tic. That's not funny, but it's funny how sometimes it presents itself, because when she gets nervous, it'll pop real fast and she'll do this smile, frown thing. And she does that when she walks in and she sees her face. But when she sits down and she realized that Tisha's trying to see who's going to blink first, Latrice said, bitch, it won't be me. Okay? And she wiped that face so clean and she stared Tisha down until Tisha smirked. That's how that scene's. That's how they stopped staring at each other, because Tisha broke. Now, I want to say this, Tisha, you don't stare somebody down and break, bitch. You're supposed to be the one to keep the gaze. And she would not. She sat there like this. And when Tisha smiled, that's when Latrice said it's cool. But Latrice still didn't give a shit after she smiled. She still looked at her like, not today, ho. Not today. Okay, come on in. What did y'all say? Yes. So then we have Tisha say to her, because Tisha's the one who starts. She says, I appreciate you for coming and meeting with me, right? I appreciate you meeting up with me. I asked you for this meeting. Maybe you wasn't going to give it. And now Tisha had some time to think about the shit, because why is your husband acting like a plum ass? Right? Not just with your friends, but with your business partners and your team. There's a lot that's going on here that you need to think about, because that girl ain't the whole problem. And she may not be the problem at all. That's where I'm leaning. It's mostly your husband. But she thanks her for coming. And she said that she's been having a hard time trying to figure things out between her and Glen. She said, because right now, I don't know where we're going to end up. And that's on God. We may not be together anymore. But now I've had time to take this shit all in. And I realize I'm blaming other people for what this fucker got going on. And she didn't say it like that, but I'm saying it like that, because You needed to apologize to her from the second she came in and sat down. Anyway, she also makes a comment that she knows that Latrice has had a lot on her back. You've had a lot of blame on you for what happened at your party. You blamed her. Girl, the fact that she took herself out of the equation and said, well, I know you've been going through a lot because of what happened at your party. Bitch, you blamed her for that. And like I said, production already took responsibility on the reunion out loud. They kept it in so that we, the audience, could hear it. But Tisha says to her, I want you to know that what went down at your house triggered me. I was triggered by Amanda. I was triggered by all of it. And that's probably why I came at you so hard, because the shit happened there. And I just felt like you could have handled it, that you could have stopped it from going down. Latrice apologizes to her again, even though Tisha acts like it's the first time she heard it. But Tisha says, I do apologize because I understand and I didn't want you to go through that shit. Like, I don't want you to think that that was something I was hoping happened to you. And after she says that, Tisha goes, an apology? Oh, don't take it back now. Apology. And Latrice said, yeah, I can apologize. I have no problem apologizing. But my problem is, Tisha, you're acting like she didn't do this already. When she did this already. Anyway, they end up just having a little moment with each other where they say, I understand your position and where you were coming from, and vice versa. They both say the same thing to each other. And Latrice says, listen, now that we're here, let's do this. If there's one thing that you never want me to bring up again, I would like for you to say that. Tell me what it is, and I'm going to bury it. And same for you, vice versa. And Tisha says, cool. I don't want you to bring up that I contacted your employees ever again, because it didn't happen. Not true. And I don't want you to say it again. And Latrice could have been real petty and said, well, bitch, I know it's true because blah, 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 blah. But she said, cool. She paused and she said, cool. I will not bring that up again. It's buried. And then Tisha says to her, what is it from me that you would like me to never do again? Bury it. And that'll be all. And then Latrice said, Amanda, don't bring her up to me no more. Amanda's actions were her fucking actions, not mine. And I don't want you to include me in whatever that lady chose to do. Okay. Is she my friend? Yes. But you can't blame me for her shit. And then we get Letitia say, cool, buried, won't bring it up again. And that's basically how they squash the beef. They both say that even though they're going to press forward with baby steps, they are hopeful that they can continue on in the Belle Collective and that all can be good moving forward, right? And then they do a little, chit chat about what's going on in each other's lives. Latrice says that she had a health scare with the blood clots and everything. And, Tisha's like, oh my God, girl, blood clots, are you serious? And she said, listen, child, I wasn't fucking with you for a second, but I didn't want you to die. That's for sure. So I want you to take your health seriously. I do love you. I do want to see you do well. And then Tisha ends up telling Latrice that she has this new talk show that she's trying to get off. And she also tells her that her crazy ass husband showed up at the photo shoot, and came after her management team. First, in particular, she said both of them was in each other's face, and she explained to him that it was First who walked up on Glen and said, what you doing here? And you ain't going to be copied on an email. It just ain't going to happen. That's when Trish said, listen, I don't condone violence or nothing like that, but I'm on Glen's side with this shit. That man had no right to jump into married people's business, period. Okay. She said he should have known when to hold them and when to fold them, but don't get up in a married man's face about his wife. Okay. And so that's where she lays it. And she said, I'm going to tell you what, if he would have done that to me, that would have been his first and motherfucking last time he would manage anything with me and Cliff. Okay. So not only are we friends again, but I'm about to give you some sound advice, is how Tree said it. And yeah, Tisha actually took it in and made it seem like, they cool again. But that's how it ended, y'all. Anyway, this was a solid 10 out of 10 for me. It was a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Y'all put it in the chat what y'all rate this episode of Belle Collective. I actually liked it. I thought that they do a real good balance of personal and business stuff. I actually like that. And even though people might feel like, oh, that doesn't happen. I've worked all of my life at corporations, businesses, medical offices, you name it. And there was always somebody who wanted to fight some husband in medical offices, for Pete's sake, some husband who always came up there and tried to show his ass. And that's on God, I promise you. And these weren't no okey doke joke places. These were the cream de la creme places I was working in. Okay. Yes. You said it was business. Glenn had no right asking about Letitia's business. Letitia, it's not his business. Mm-hmm. You give the best reviews. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Y'all don't rate the show. Y'all didn't want to give the show a rating. What did y'all think on a scale of 1 to 10? Where do y'all rank the show for this episode? And also, who do y'all think stole the scene? I told y'all this is a scene stealer for me, because I said the way that man, the way he played in our face, there's no way that could happen ever. Okay, let's see. You said 8, 10, 10. Okay, these were pretty high rankings. Anyway, it was a good episode, and I always enjoy doing these reviews with y'all. Y'all know I do. It's fun for me. It's fun, but it also I like watching, the dynamics of people's relationships. That's always interested me. In fact, when I was a kid, and my sister can vouch for this. When I was a kid, my mom used to always tell me, be a psychiatrist. I used to hear that from like age 5, because I used to be like, oh my God, and this happened, and this happened. And she would like, girl, you should be a psychiatrist. You should be a psychiatrist. My whole life. For all of her life, she would say that to me. You said 10, 9. You said it was entertaining. You said Selena knows personalities and ways. You think that Glenn and Letitia were faking it, but that's why it's not a 10 for you, but you were entertained. Okay. Well, that's it, you guys. I love y'all. Thank you for coming over and supporting me. I do appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, okay? If you are not a subscriber, please become one by hitting that button and also making sure your notification bells are on. Follow me on all of my platforms at DYANAROZAY, okay? Thank you to my sister, Miss Clone in the house, and also thank you to Kevin Moore